Pastor Mario Moxey and Mrs. Moxey, Mrs. Sylvia Moxey, wife of our good friend, the deceased. I'm here to make a few comments about my good friend, Edmund Moxey. I first met Mr. Moxey when he visited the Cedar Harbor All-Age School in 1969. There, my father served as principal. At the invitation of my father, Mr. Moxey addressed us on his favorite topic, Bahamian culture, and he articulated his vision for the further development of our culture. Based on this first encounter with this musical enthusiast, it became evident that he had a burning, passionate desire to elevate culture to its rightful place in our country. Little did I know this was not to be our last encounter on this and many other topics. Later, I relocated to Nassau to pursue further studies. Upon graduating, I was posted to several islands in the financial sector. As time progressed, I had the distinct pleasure and indeed privilege to become further acquainted with Mr. Moxey. Despite our age disparity, both of us, having traveled and worked in a number of family islands, it became easy and amusing for us to share so many similar ideas and experiences. As is well known, my friend was more than a cultural icon. He was also a community activist, musician, and of course, an exemplary politician who was completely committed to serving his country, a country he loved passionately. My friend was a man of principle who was not afraid to express his views, even when it wasn't popular to do so. I recall on one such occasion, and speaking on the current issues of the day, he warned of serious repercussions if that particular trend continued. By now, my good friend Ed had a nickname, Muscle and Guts. Now, serious repercussions was added. And so, whenever I called him, I would begin by saying, serious, and being the alert, humorous friend he was, he completed with repercussions, creating a mutual roar of laughter before the conversation ended. When the laughter would have subsided, my friend would ask me, man, what you doing? I then realized this was the hint for me to pick him up, to meet our other dear friend, whom we fondly refer to as chairman of the board, Mr. Warren Lavardi, who was also a part of the '67 revolution. Now, serious repercussions was a man who liked to brag about his cooking. He liked to show off his cooking. And so on the way to the Lavardis, we would visit Polsky Dock, where he would get some fresh ham, onions, tomatoes, peppers, and when we arrived at the Lavardis, there he would prepare a batch of native ham salad. His salad was always good, but the last batch was exceptionally delicious. So delicious that I said to him, man, y'all do yourself this time, you know. And the Lavardis replied in the affirmative. My friend and I shared many happy moments at his home and outside. Pastor Mario, I am acutely aware that happiness cannot be measured. But Pastor, without fear of contradiction, his visible expressions of happiness on the occasion of the celebration of 50 years of marriage to his dear wife, Sylvia, far exceeded any other occasion when I saw him happy. In preparation for this auspicious occasion, he told me several times, now Peter, you know you must be at the church. I replied, Of course, sir, I missed the first original occasion. I dare not miss this one. Towards the end of the year, my friend and I were returning home. My father and I were returning home and was about to pass my good friend's house when suddenly I realized they had not seen each other in years. I deliberated, and as I drove up in Mr. Moxey's driveway, his door opened. Of course, knowing the sound of my car. And when he saw my father in the front seat, his eyes listened. For these two good old friends, it was indeed a happy occasion. When one is close to a person, you will develop an appreciation for what that person cherishes, what he holds near and dear to his heart. As a father, I know and indeed appreciate and understand the innate love for our children. My good friend, Mr. Edmund Moxey, spoke fondly of his children many, many times about their achievements, their goals, their aspirations. And so, it was a joyous occasion for me several weeks ago when I opened one of the daily newspapers and saw a photo of his son, Pastor Mario, who was being recognized by the College of the Bahamas for his contribution to the nation. My heart jumped with joy as I dialed his number home, and I said to him, man, listen, you achieved a lot of things, but what more can a father achieve than to see this, to have his son's name so prominently featured on such a momentous occasion. Mrs. Moxey, Pastor Mario, my good friend Debbie, other members of the family. Some men are born into greatness as a result of family ties. Others achieve greatness as a result of wealth. But this muscle and gut fellow from Regular Island achieved his through hard work, commitment, and his persistent willpower and determination to put country first, even a great sacrifice for the love of his country. For wherever I am in this country, I hear his music in my office, in my car, where he and I listen to Ed Moxey and the boys together many times while I'm driving, and other places. Debbie, Pastor Mario, Mrs. Moxey, let's continue to enjoy this celebration of life. His music lives on and on forever and ever. There will always be memories, sweet memories of my good friend, Mr. Edmund Muscle and Guts Moxey.